whole lot more information to it, but the gist of things are up there. We'll have alerts and updates posted, as Drake mentioned in his interview with David. And we're working on organizing states so we can begin projects to take back our counties, county by county across the nation, with various little projects. And yeah, this is going really, really well. We've got a lot of people that are involved and getting on board. And actually, on our website, I have posted that next Saturday we're going to have our first national county project call. And I've posted the conference call line number as well as the access code.
Welcome back, everyone.
Yes, take it away, Teri, and go ahead and finish up.
Okay.
I mean, you're doing awesome, and I really would like to, we've got callers in the queue waiting to ask questions.
All righty. There was one that I'm going to address, which I'm already aware of as soon as I'm finished here. Well, now we know what unalienable rights are. For those of us out here who might actually care to read the health care bill, the same one our Supreme Court is now wasting time on, considering the constitutionality of its federal mandate, when instead they should be ruling on the hidden provisions within which shred the Constitution. Excuse me. I swallowed wrong. And Bill of Rights. We find the true purpose listed by item in more than 2,000 pages of treason. It's no wonder Nancy Pelosi said pass it first and find out later when you get down to the nitty-gritty of what's hidden in the following pages. Page 22, mandates. The government will audit all books of all employers who self-insure. Page 29, lines 4 through 16. Healthcare rationing. You can only receive so much care per year, regardless of your needs. $5,000 an individual, $10,000 per family. Page 30, Section 123, there will be a government committee that decides what benefits and treatments you'll receive. Page 42, the healthcare commissioner will choose your healthcare benefits for you. You have no choice. Page 52, healthcare will be provided to all non-U.S. citizens, legal or otherwise. Page 58, the government will have real-time access to your finances and a national ID card will be issued. 59, lines 21 through 24. The government will have access direct to your bank accounts for elective funds transfers. 65, Section 164. This is a payoff subsidized plan for retirees and their families in unions and community organizations such as ACORN. 72, lines 8 through 14. Here the government is creating a health care exchange to bring private health care plans under government control. 84, Section 203. The government mandates all benefit packages for private health care plans in the exchange. 85, line 7. AARP members, your health care will be rationed. Page 91, lines 4 through 7. Government mandates linguistic appropriate services for translation for illegal aliens. 95, lines 8 through 18. The government will use groups like ACORN and AmeriCorps to sign up individually for government health care plan. 102, lines 12 through 18. Medicaid eligible individuals will be automatically enrolled in Medicaid. You have no choice. 124, lines 24 through 25. No company can sue the government on price fixing, and there will be no judicial review against the government monopoly. 126, lines 22 through 25. Employers must pay for health care for part-time employees and their families. 127, lines 1 through 16. Doctors and American Medical Association. The government will tell you how much money you can make. Lines 145, 15 through 17. All employers must enroll employees into the government plan. You have no choice. If an employer with a payroll over $400,000 and up who does not provide government option will pay an 8% tax on all payroll. Employers with a payroll between $251,000 through $400,000 who does not provide the government option will pay a 2 to 6% tax on all payroll. 167. Any individual who does not have acceptable health care coverage according to the government will be taxed 2.5%. 170, lines 1 through 3. Any non-resident alien is exempt from individual taxes. You and I have to pay for them. 195, officers and employees of the Health Care Administration will have access to all Americans' financial and personal records. Did you hear that, people? Every day, employees of the Health Care Administration will have access to all of your personal and financial records. Page 203, 14 through 15. The tax imposed under this section shall not be treated as a tax. 239, lines 14 through 24. The government will reduce physician services for Medicaid to seniors. The poor and the low income will suffer even more than they do now. 241, lines 6 through 8. All doctors, no matter what specialty, will be paid the same. 253, lines 10 through 18. The government will set the value of doctors' time, and professional judgments literally value the value of human life. 268, Section 1141, the federal government regulates rental and purchase of power-driven wheelchairs. 272, Section 1145, regarding the treatments of certain cancer hospitals, cancer patients welcome to rationing. 280, Section 1151, the government will penalize hospitals for what the government deems preventable readmission. 317, lines 13 through 20, prohibition on ownership and investment. The government tells doctors what and how much they can own. 341, lines 3 through 9, government has the authority to disqualify HMOs, forcing all into the government health plan. 354, Section 1177, government will restrict enrollment of special needs individuals. Seniors will be interviewed every year as to what care they can and cannot receive, and they will be counseled on final death preparations. Government will also instruct on living wills and durable power of attorney. This is mandatory. Government provides approved list of end-of-life sources guiding you into death. Government mandates programs for orders for end-of-life. America, if you are so dumbed down now that you can consider for one moment that this power grab is in your best interest, all I can say is go back to sleep and leave the fight to those of us who still possess some semblance of intellect and common sense. The latest items of presidential treason. The NDAA giving him the power to use our own sons and daughters to incarcerate, torture, and or kill us, and the recent declaration of peacetime martial law are only the latest in a long line of crimes against the American people and the states. Executive orders are not law, but they are wielded with impunity as if they were, such as 10,994 allows the government to control all modes of transportation and all the highways and seaports. 10,995 allows the government to seize and control the communications media. 10,997 allows the government to take over all electrical power, gas, petroleum, fuels, and minerals. 10,998 allows the government to seize all means of transportation, including personal cars, trucks, vehicles of any kind. 10,999 allows the government to take over all food resources and farms. 11,000 allows the government to force civilians into work brigades under government supervision. 11,001 allows the government to take over all health, education, and welfare functions. 11,002 designates the Postmaster General to operate a national registration of all persons. 11,003 allows the government to take over all airports and aircraft, including commercial aircraft. 11,004 allows the Housing and Finance Authority to relocate communities forced into housing with public funds and designate areas to be abandoned. Sounds like stack 'em and pack 'em to me, Agenda 21. 11,005 allows the government to take over railroads and waterways and public storage facilities. 11,921 gives the Federal Emergency Preparedness Agency, FEMA, the authority to take over all banking institutions in the United States. Now, I'd like to go back to the contents of the document I referred to above. DeAtra has made it available on the website, and I urge all to read it, download it, share it, and stand with your neighbors to stop its insidious plan from being completed. I want to share with you now some more of what is contained in that document, which, remember, is a training manual for the CIA and other governmental agencies. On page 43 of that document is the following. Politicians hold many quasi-military jobs, the lowest being the police, which are soldiers, the attorneys and CPAs next, who are spies and saboteurs, licensed, and the judges who shout orders and run the closed union military shop for whatever the market will bear. The generals are industrialists. The presidential level of commander-in-chief is shared by the international bankers. The people know they've created this farce and financed it with their own taxes, consent, but they would rather knuckle under than be the hypocrite. I contend they do not know until now. Thus, a nation becomes divided into two very distinct parts, a docile subnation, the great silent majority, and a political subnation remains attached to the docile subnation, tolerates it, and leaches its substance until it grows strong enough to detach itself and then devour its parents. Those are not my words, America, but they are the words of the people who have conquered you, according to them, with your consent. I continue on. One of the many silent weapons outlined in this manual for the control of all of us is in regard to military service, the draft, and the power to implement it at any moment. The following is the outline of the importance of its enforcement. To secure the draft, individual brainwashing, programming, and both the family unit and the peer group must be engaged and brought under control. The man of the household must be housebroken to ensure that Junior will grow up with the right social training and attitudes. The advertising media, etc., are engaged to see to it that father-to-be is pussy-whipped before or by the time he's married. He is taught that he either conforms to the social notch cut out for him, or his sex life will be hobbled and his tender companionship will be zero. He is made to see that women demand security more than logical, principled, or honorable behavior. By the time his son must go to war, father, with Jelly for a backbone, will slam a gun into Junior's hand before father will risk the censure of his peers or make a hypocrite of himself by crossing the investment he has in his own personal opinion or self-esteem. Junior will go to war, or father will be embarrassed, so Junior will go to war, the true purpose notwithstanding. The female element of society is ruled by emotion first and logic second. In the battle between logic and imagination, imagination always wins. Fantasy prevails. Maternal instinct dominates, so the child comes first, and the future comes second. A woman with a newborn baby is too starry-eyed to see a wealthy man's cannon fodder or a cheap source of labor. A woman must, however, be conditioned to accept the transition to reality when it comes or sooner. As the transition becomes more difficult to manage, the family unit must be carefully disintegrated, and state-controlled public education and state-operated child care centers must become more common and legally enforced so as to begin the detachment of the child from the mother and father at an earlier age. Inoculation of behavioral drugs can speed the transition for the child. Mandatory. How many of you out there have children on Ritalin? Caution. A woman's impulsive anger can override her fear. An irate woman's power must never be underestimated, and her power over a pussy-whipped husband must likewise never be underestimated. It got women the vote in 1920. The emotional pressure for self-preservation during the time of war and the self-serving attitude of the common herd that have an option to avoid the battlefield if Junior can be persuaded to go is all of the pressure finally necessary to propel Johnny off to war. Their quiet blackmailings of him are the threats: no sacrifice, no friends, no glory, no girlfriends, and so on. And what about Junior's sister? She is given all the good things of life by her father and taught to expect the same from her future husband, regardless of the price. Cattle. Those who will not use their brains are no better off than those who have no brains. And so this mindless school of jellyfish, father, mother, son, and daughter, become useful beasts of burden, or trainers of the same. There is more to the document, but that is all that was available in the copy I was given. So you are